have you ever noticed that huge, kind of frustrating gap between what people say they're going to do and what they actually do? Maybe you've even been on the wrong side of that gap yourself. Well, today, we're going to close it. We are diving deep into the follow-through formula, a framework to help all of us stop flaking and start delivering.
So right out of the gate, we've got two paths, two types of people. On one side, you've got the person who's basically allergic to love. They talk a great game, they say yes to everything, and then poof, they're gone. On the other side, you have the person who takes the love vaccine. It's simple. They say it, and then they just do it. Our whole goal today is to help you get from one side to the other.
But look, before we can get to the fix, we really have to understand the problem. This isn't just about being a little flaky. There's a real name for this, and believe me, it comes with some incredibly high costs. Let's talk about the action gap problem.
So what is the action gap? I want you to picture it like this. It's that giant, dangerous pothole on the road between your good intentions and your actual execution. It's the space where all those promises and all that potential, well, it goes to die. It's where your word completely loses its value.
You know, what's really interesting is how this action gap has its own vocabulary. We have lip service, saying all the right things but doing absolutely none of them. There's the ghost promise. That's a commitment that just vanishes into thin air right when it's delivery time. And my personal favorite, yes inflation. This is when you say yes so often that the word becomes totally, completely meaningless.
And this quote from the source material, man, it just nails it. Imagine revving a Ferrari at a red light. It's all noise. It sounds impressive, but you're going absolutely nowhere. That's exactly what empty promises are. All noise, no movement. And here's the key part. People don't remember the noise. They remember the gap. They remember the lack of movement.
Okay, so this brings us to a really crucial idea. This whole thing isn't just about avoiding being annoying. This is about managing your single most valuable asset, your credibility. I want you to start thinking of your word as a currency, and every single broken promise is a major withdrawal from your account.
And you know, this isn't some new age productivity hack. We're talking ancient wisdom here. Over 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius basically said the same thing. Stop talking about it and be about it. This wisdom is ancient because the truth here is absolutely timeless. Actions define us, not our words.
What's so fascinating is that this isn't just one philosophy, it's pretty much a universal law. You look across major world religions and cultures, and the message is identical. Christianity, let your yes be a real yes. Judaism, it's better not to make a promise than to make one and not keep it. Islam teaches that you'll be questioned about your covenants. And I love this Yoruba proverb, the word is the ancestor of the deed. This principle is just woven into the very fabric of human wisdom. So let's introduce a new concept here. Credibility mileage. How far can your word actually take you? How much trust have you built up in your tank? When you say you're going to do something, does it get you all the way to the finish line, or does it break down a few blocks from your house?
Okay, here's a super quick diagnostic you can run on yourself right now. Just ask, are my words, my actions, and my feelings all in sync? Because if you're saying yes out loud, but your feelings are screaming no and your actions are nowhere to be found, your trust mileage is dropping. And let me tell you, it is dropping fast.
All right, we've talked enough about the problem. Let's get to the good stuff, the solution. It's time to shift gears and talk about the simple, powerful fix for the action gap. This is the practical part. These are the steps you can start taking like today.
This right here, this is the heart of the follow-through formula, and it is so much simpler than you think. It's 3 steps. First, write the promise down. See, an unspoken promise is just a thought. Writing it makes it real. It's a contract with yourself. Second, give it a deadline. This creates accountability both for you and for others. And third, and this is the most crucial step of all, finish it. You have to see it through to the end, close that loop, and build that trust.
Okay, here's a fantastic little filter, a little pro tip straight from the therapy world. Before you automatically say yes to something, just pause for a second and ask yourself this question. If I had a mild fever and hadn't had any coffee yet, would I still agree to do this? If the answer is no, you are probably overcommitting.
So let's get even more practical. If you want to build that follow-through muscle, you've got to start small. Keep your promises small and winnable at first. Always track your commitments in writing. And please, remember this, a clean, honest no is so much more respectable than a flaky yes. Try to follow through early on things to build momentum. And hey, don't be afraid to hold yourself accountable in public. It raises the stakes.
And on the flip side, just as important, here are the traps.
These are the things that create the action gap. Avoid agreeing to things just to please other people. Never ever make a promise you don't actually intend to keep. And please, don't just disappear. As we've learned, it is always better to communicate than to vanish. Don't assume people will forget. And above all, you have to stop the cycle of overcommitting and under-delivering.
All right, let's talk about the reward for all this work. Because when you fix your action gap, it is not just about avoiding negatives. It's about unlocking a whole new level of positives. This is the credibility payoff. And this is the good part. Let's look at a real-world example. Kobe Bryant. The man's dedication was legendary for a reason. When he said he'd be in the gym at 4 a.m., he was there. His teammates, his coaches, everyone learned that his word was absolute. That level of consistency doesn't just win you basketball games, it wins you profound, lasting respect.
So when you really master this, what actually becomes possible for you? Well, trust deepens in all of your relationships. Your professional reputation becomes bulletproof. Opportunities start coming to you because people who mean business want to work with other people who mean business. And maybe, just maybe, best of all, that little inner critic in your head finally goes quiet because you know your person who does what they say they will do.
Let's bring it all home with one last super clear analogy. Being a flake is like pulling out of your driveway all excited and then just parking at the corner. All start, no finish. But following through, that's like mapping a real route and then driving it from start to finish, no matter what. It's the journey completed.
So I'm going to leave you with a question to really reflect on. Seriously, take a moment and think about this. How would your life, your career, and all of your relationships fundamentally change if you delivered on your word every single time? So at the end of the day, just remember this. Your word is the engine, but your action is the fuel. Go out there and fuel up. Thanks for digging into this with me.